my village. It's Coach Mo. Hope you guys get a chance to tune in. I am finally doing my live Q&A for the parent questions. And thank you guys for submitting questions. You guys are so amazing with that. Invite people, share. If you have questions, please send me the questions while we're on the live. It's not too late. I will definitely answer questions on the spot. So give me a chance while I invite a few people on so that they can catch this for some that also sent me questions. So if you are a parent, this is for you. This is your opportunity to ask me and get some free advice, even though I give you guys that every Tuesday. But this is specifically if you have any questions about parenting, definitely send me those questions and I will answer them. So far I have 5. I usually try to keep it at 5 because last time it was like over an hour live and I'm not trying to do an hour today. But for those who are new to my Facebook page, I am Monique. I go by Coach Mo. I am a parenting and business coach. So what I do is I help parents co-parent with success to be able to coexist in their child's life, as well as work with female entrepreneurs, helping them create content, products, and services to be able to build packages and services in their business by identifying their ideal client. I know I miss you. I haven't seen you in a while. We're gonna have to catch up soon. But I am going to start with the first question. And thank you guys for participating in my survey last week where I asked a question like what challenges you guys have. So some of these are from that the responses. I put the response in a few Facebook groups. I got back literally over 70 responses to that question as far as what struggles and challenges you have as a parent. So one of the questions was how do you deal with someone you can't communicate with without it turning into an argument? So pretty much this is like a co-parenting situation. They're trying to talk to the other parent and they want to know like how do you deal with that person when you can't even talk to them. You just hang up, like you don't want to deal with them because you never can get a conversation going without it turning into an argument. That was a question that I had a few times, so I wanted to address it. So pretty much when it comes to that type of situation, first, of course it takes patience. Nobody want to argue. Nobody want to have that bad energy around them. Y'all know me. I protect my energy at all costs. I don't do the arguing. That's just one of the things I let my dad know. Like I don't argue. If I have to argue with you, I just don't want to have a conversation at all. But you do have to figure out how to communicate with each other because it's usually you're talking at them and not talking to them. I see that a lot and it's common with the parents when it comes to co-parenting situation because this is what I do. So I see it a lot where they're talking at the person, telling them what to do. Of course, most likely it's the woman that's telling the man this is what I want and they're in control. So it's pretty much a control issue. But you have to learn how to communicate. I used to deal with this with my son and dad where we couldn't have a conversation before it turned left real quick. So we learned we cannot text. So we do not hold conversations through text message because it was always misinterpreted because the person that's receiving the text is going to perceive it the way they want based on their mentality or how they feel about you. So definitely we don't hold serious conversation through text. We only can talk in person because I need to see your body language or we need to talk on the phone so I can hear your voice to know how you intended that to come out. Some people can text. It's not a thing for me. Like if I text him, he would not respond because like just call me. That's the way you're going to get my attention. So basically the biggest thing is just learning how to talk to the person and what form of communication that you guys require in order for each person to get the clear message and not perceive it in a negative way or take it and mix it up and they're like, that's not what I said. Because communication is usually the biggest issue when it comes to co-parenting. Also, what helped with me in regards to something like this similar situation is taking the 5 love language tests. I know I talked about this a few times, but once I knew what my son dad love language was, we were able to communicate without using words. Because when you know what their love language is, you can be in their good grace and you don't even have to say anything to them. Like, I can go buy him some tacos, give him some food, like acts of kindness, quality time, just sitting there listening to him, watching a movie with him, stuff like that. It means a lot to him because you giving him that attention. He feel like, okay, I'm here, you see me. But just go buy him some tacos or something, he'll love you forever. And it's the same with me. Affirmations. Tell me I'm doing a good job as a mom, or we're doing a good job co-parenting. I have to hear those things because affirmation is my love language. So he know that's my love language, and call it quality time and acts of service. So he would come over. Sometimes if I'm overwhelmed, booked with a lot of clients, I'm busy, he would come over and wash the dishes, or he'll cook dinner and invite me to dinner at their house when he have my son, because he have my son for the summer Monday through Thursday. So those things mean a lot to me because it's one less thing I got to worry about. So he'd be like, oh, I cooked dinner, you can come over and eat. But that's that for that question. The second question was, how do I maintain discipline while allowing them to be their self? And they're talking about their kid. Because a lot of times parents don't know the fine line between like being strict with your kids or being lenient, letting them still explore, be able to have independency, like not become codependent on you for everything. This is always a battle with parents because it's like you don't want the kid to be like, oh, that's my friend. Like they treat you like their friend instead of respecting you as a parent. So it's kind of hard to find a balance, but it's up to you to set the standards. So teaching your kid morals, values. My parents taught me that. We knew not to talk when adults are talking. Don't jump in their conversation. It's just a respect level. So you have to instill those morals and values that you want for your family. It don't have to be what other people do for their family because you have the right to make your own. It don't have to be tradition, any of those things, but you set the standard, you set boundaries with your kid. My son know when I'm serious and he know when I'll play with him. But he know not to cross a certain line. So he know there's a line of respect, and that's where there's no line blurred right there. You're going to get in trouble. He know consequences. Teach your kids right from wrong. That should start early on. Within the age of 1, 2, they should start, you should start telling them what's right, what's wrong. Don't hit, don't play with this, it's dangerous, stuff like that. That's up to you as a parent to start at an early age, as early as 1. And then don't become a helicopter parent. I know I have a video on that on my YouTube channel where you're just like trying to prevent your kid from making mistakes. I had a lot of questions about that. Sorry, you guys, my laptop. I forgot to turn the volume off. But I had a lot of questions about that, like, and concerns. Like, how do I protect my kid, provide security from how society see them, what to tell them, what not to tell them. A lot of parents asked me that in that survey, and it's normal. It's common to be concerned because the way society is now was not the same as it was when we were younger. Especially, like, I had to have those serious conversations with my son about when he asked, Mom, why are the police killing all the black people? He was only like 5 or 6. Then now it's like, it was the When They See Us movie. He sat and watched it with me, and I had those conversations. What to do when you're approached by a police, or if we were put over in a car. Like, you have to have those conversations. Even though he's only 10, he needs to know the truth. So always be upfront and honest with your kids so that they can be able to trust you guiding them in the right direction. You don't want to set your kid up for failure all because you want to hide the reality of everything from them. They see it on TV. They'll either find out from their friends, they'll even find out for social media. All this stuff that's on, all these kids that's on YouTube and all this stuff, they're smart. They will figure it out. And you tell them those deep conversations than them watching a video of a kid getting killed. So basically just trust that you're doing a good job as a parent and that you're teaching them the right things so that they can know what's good and bad later on and not have to deal with bad consequences. And there's going to be obstacles, but that's how you develop your character. So you have to let them do wrong sometimes and suffer those consequences. You can't rescue or save them from reality because it happened, but that builds character for them. They teach them a life lesson. Some lessons you have to learn. Some people have to learn the hard way because they would never learn when people are always rescuing them from making mistakes. The third one was forgiveness. It was about like, how do you forgive a person? That's a big thing, and it's part of one of the major things, issues that my ideal client have when it comes to parenting. They're like, I don't want to co-parent with the other person. They hurt me. They cheated. They had other babies within our relationship. How do I forgive them? So this is something big, and I hope you guys got pen and paper. I forgot to mention that. But this is something big when it comes to my clients, and I use a 4-step method, which I call the 4 A's. So the first step is awareness. You have to be aware of the problem. So a lot of times the other person don't even know why you're mad. They don't even know why you're bitter, why you're resentful, why you hate them. They don't even know. So you have to make them aware of what it is that they did to you that you're mad at them about. So once you get the awareness out there and you tell them what's on your heart, you just have to be strong, have courage, and have those deep conversations. I have my parents do that. Like, get everything out on the table, and we're going to hash out everything right now. So write down everything you wanted to say to him that you ain't said. Write down everything you want to say to her that you ain't said. All the truth come out, lay it all out on the table so that we can all be on the same page and we all know why each other mad at each other. So I have them do that in that first step of being aware, so they can know what it is that they have to forgive, or you have to forgive them for. The second step is acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge that you played a part in that too. A lot of stuff don't just happen. A lot of stuff happen because of you. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. Like, you cause what happens in your life. If you're negative, you're going to bring negative to you. That's why I always stay with a positive energy, and I protect my energy because I don't want that coming my way. So if you're always arguing, yelling, bitter, stressing the person out, of course they're going to either walk away. They're not going to want to be around you. Hey, they're not going to want to be around you. And nobody wants a negative Nancy around them. Nobody wants to come home to someone arguing and nagging all the time. And nobody wants a cheating person as well. But if you don't communicate, you won't know. But the third one is acceptance. Accepting that this is what it is. You can't change it. Nothing's going to change the past. So that's the difference. Also the difference between therapy, like a therapist, and a coach. Therapists solve the blame. Coaches, we solve the problem from here going forward. How are we going to get over this? So we already know in the first step of awareness who did what and why. So now it's the step where, okay, I accepted that, and you accept the person's apology or forgive that person because you got everything out. Then now the last step is action. What are we going to do now? Now what? Now that I know everything that's went on in our relationship, why it didn't work, why you hate me, how you really feel about me, now what? How can we move forward to be able to co-parent? Because it's not about you, it's about the child. But a lot of people put their feelings first. So that's why they have to go through this forgiveness process to be able to heal in order to move forward and actually co-parent. So co-parenting come after the parents selfishly deal with their own issues, because it's impossible to build on a broken foundation. It's going to keep crumbling. So you have to lay out the foundation and make sure everything is good before you start building and making building something new. But that's how you go through the forgiveness, and that's what I take my clients through when I'm dealing with co-parenting. The fourth question is how to compromise with a spouse when it comes to disciplining a child. So this scenario was brought to me because the wife feel like when she give a demand or say no to the kids and they go to their dad and he say yes, like it's playing against her. And it's true. But when you're not on the same page when you come to parenting, because a lot of my clients actually are married couples. At least 98% of my co-parenting clients are married couples. So they're just trying to merge and blend families within the same household, but you have two different parenting styles. This was my problem about a year ago with my son dad. He's a disciplinarian. His parenting style was authoritarian, where it's whatever I say go, there's no compromising, that's it. Mine was authoritative. So I set rules, but I'm willing to negotiate some things. So I was a little more lenient and he was strict. So we had to marry those two parenting styles in order for it to work, because he can't be going to beat my kid and I don't whoop him. Like, that don't make sense, because you're mixing the kids up, they're getting confused, and it can't work that way. You have to be on the same page. And kids are smart. You know, they're very manipulative. They will play you against each other. Well, my dad said I could do this, and then the dad don't know that the mom already said no. So they have to learn to communicate. They have to learn how to stay and build on the same page. And the easiest way to do that is, like, what are your values? How do you see your kid? You write down what's important, what's not important. If they get in big trouble, yes, we can find this way of discipline. This is how we're going to discipline the child. Like me, I convinced my son, Dad, like, let's not whoop him. Let's talk to him, see what's going on. Kids don't act out for no reason, period. So when your first reaction is to go hit them and stuff like that because you have no patience, and you don't want to listen to what they have to say, it don't work. Because it's going to keep happening because you're not figuring out a solution to the problem. You're just punishing them for the blame. And that don't get you anywhere. So you definitely have to be on the same page, because kids will play you against each other, and they would never respect either the other parent that's lenient or the strict parent, because they know they're going to get their way one way or another, depending on which parent they're dealing with. And especially if you're in the same household, it's going to be a little difficult to gain that respect if you're not on the same page, because they're going to figure out a way around it and manipulate you into getting what they want. That's just what they master. So the last one is, of course, this was the most popular one on the survey. Out of about 57 people had this issue. And of course, it's work-life balance and time management. How do you manage your time? This was a big issue for me about 2 years ago, where I would just approach burnout. Like, I was managing, at the time I was homeschooling my son, I was in grad school, working full-time, and running my business. I was just all over the place. I didn't know when I could do what day it was, what time it was, what time of day. I was just so confused and going out of my mind. You get behind on housework, you not focus on your kids' work and checking assignments, and he's getting behind. Like, it was just a lot going on. And being able to the benefit of being able to get that under control has allowed me so much freedom in my life that I'm like, why did I take so long to get it together? But when you're in the situation, it kind of seems impossible to manage your schedule. You're like, I don't know how or where to start. And a lot of people ask me, where do you start with being able to manage your time management? So I'm going to give you guys a few things, because I do have a course launching the end of this month for time management, work-life balance. It's like how to master time management, work-life balance in 4 easy steps. So pretty much you have to set boundaries, period. You cannot be everything for everyone and not include yourself. So I see this happening with a lot of moms, where they're doing everything for everyone, but nobody's there for them. They don't have anybody to have their back. They don't have any help. They're doing it all by themselves. But the thing is, you don't have to. Like me, I had to set boundaries even with my clients. I had to set hours. Like, you guys, I'm not going to talk to you guys 24 hours, 7 days a week. You're not going to be texting me at 2 a.m. So I had to set office hours. Like, okay, my business is closed Sunday, Monday. Do not bother me. My phone go on do not disturb. My office hours are 8 to 6. That's it. Do not disturb after 6 o'clock. You're not going to reach me if you're not on my favorites list. You also have to have accountability. Me, I have a few accountability partners, and I'm an accountability partner for others. You do have to have accountability, because sometimes you do need to be reminded of certain things. You do need to have someone that encourage you, empower you, inspire you, motivate you to keep going forward. You need that positive person on your side, in your corner, that's pushing you to do better, to stay organized, to stay focused, things like that. So having an accountability partner has been awesome and so amazing. Another thing, learn to delegate. A lot of people want to be in control of everything. That's why you're overwhelmed. That's why you're approaching burnout. That's why you're stressed out. That's why you can't get nothing done, because you're doing too much. You don't know how to say no, and you don't want to let anyone else do it. Excuse me. Hold on one second. I used to be like that with my son. I used to have him wash the dishes, and if the dishes wasn't clean, I was that parent that go behind him and just wash them myself instead of making him wash them over. No, that stopped. Now, if one dish is dirty, I do him like my mom did me. Put them all back in the sink. You got to start all over. Until he'll get tired of doing them over. I would keep making him do it over until all of them are clean. I'm not going to go and take over what I already delegated to you because you didn't do it good enough or like I would do it. Just like cleaning his room, I'm going to stay on you until it gets clean the way I accept it. But that's how I was raised. So he learned to clean it right, and you won't have to deal with me. He now does laundry. Since he wants to change clothes 2-3 times a day, I'm not going to do laundry all day long. So now he takes the responsibility at 10 years old to do his own laundry. So he has to check the mail, take the trash out, wash the dishes, and clean his room and do his own laundry. Sometimes he even do mine, be like, Mom, I know you're busy today, and before I wake up, he's like, I already did your laundry. I'm like, oh, thank you. And that's part of the acts of kindness. He know my love language. But yeah, you have to learn to delegate duties to other people. Your kids can start doing chores as early as 3 years old. They can sweep, they can pick up a broom, they can vacuum, little stuff like that. You teach them how to clean up their own room. You can reward them for it. Like my son get rewards. I give him cash. I pay him for chores or whatever. I give him some money if he done good that week. If he didn't keep up with doing his daily duties, he won't get reward. And that's his spending money. He gets to go Chuck E. Cheese, wherever he want to go, or spend that money. That's his gift, his reward. Also, overextending yourself. A lot of people don't know how to just set a to-do list that have maybe 2 or 3 things. I always suggest don't put more than 3 things on your to-do list, because if you have too much, nothing get done, because you get overwhelmed, your mind shut down. And it's called it's not visual clutter, it's called sensory overload. It's a form of anxiety. It's a symptom of anxiety, a trigger actually. So it's called sensory overload. So when you see that you have way too much on your list, you shut down, nothing gets done. You're going to stop, you're going to walk away from everything, and that's just it. Like, there's your day. It was wasted because you put way too much and overextended yourself. Another thing, time management, work-life balance requires discipline. So what I do in my time management, work-life balance course, I teach them how to change their mindset, change how you look at time management. People always have this excuse like, I'm so busy, I don't have time. You do, because you're sitting on social media scrolling for hours, you're watching TV. Like me, I don't watch TV. I don't have time for that. I don't watch TV. Maybe on Saturdays or Sunday, which is my lazy day, that's the day I will schedule in and catch up on my DVR. So I stay off social media because I don't want people telling me what happened on my favorite show. I'll catch up maybe a week later. But it's on my DVR recording, so it's recorded. I know I can get back to it whenever I have time to do it. But I don't spend any time during the week sitting and watching TV unless I absolutely have finished all my duties, or I have a light schedule, I'm not meeting with too many clients that week, and I have time to waste. It's just wasted time. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have time, and da-da-da-da. I can't do this, and they complain about it, but they're not doing anything to change it. So that's why you have to change your mindset and the way you look at it, because you have time, you're just not willing to give up that leisure time of just bullshitting, period. It takes that discipline. It takes consistency. You can't do it for, like, be on track, having everything organized and scheduled out for a week, and then you fall off the next week. No, it takes 21 days to change a habit. So if you're doing it consistently for 3 weeks, you will continue doing it. And it requires to have a routine. Like, you guys know, I mentioned with my prayer journal and my daily activity journal, how I made that my routine. At night, I write out my to-do list for the next day, because you want to wake up knowing what you already have to do ahead of time. You don't want to wake up the day of trying to figure out, what do I got to do today? No, because then you're wasting time trying to figure it out. Do it the night before. Don't put more than 3 things on the list. How I read my affirmations at night, because I set my energy before the next day, reading positive stuff before I go to sleep, so I can wake up with positive on my mind. Because you usually think about the last thing you went to sleep with. That's why in the Bible it says, do not go to sleep mad. It said in another term, but do not go to sleep mad, because you will wake up negative, angry. It just sets your whole day up in the wrong way. So always do something positive. Even if you're listening to motivational videos on YouTube, that's a habit for me. I listen to a lot of motivational videos while I'm driving on YouTube. I just let it play through. I like listening to Les Brown, Eric Thomas, T.D. Jakes, of course. I listen to his sermons. Tony Robbins, Lisa Nichols, Iyanla Vanzant. Those are my favorite people to listen to on YouTube for that positive motivation. There's motivational videos specifically. It'll say, listen to this when you wake up in the morning. I have my affirmation. It's a 25-minute affirmation video. So I just read all the affirmations. So I'll play that while I'm meditating in the morning. So I go to sleep I don't go to sleep at a decent time, but I don't sleep in after 5 a.m. My body would not allow me to. I'm automatically up at 3:30, 4 o'clock every day. So I meditate. I write in my journal. I pray in the morning, and I do affirmations again. And I read and write gratitude, what I'm grateful for. Of course, you got to be grateful for waking up and being blessed with another day. But I try to keep that positive energy going. I might stretch or do a light workout. Start on my to-do list. My to-do list is usually done by 7 a.m. Unless it requires me to leave the house. That's the only way it's not going to be finished by 7 a.m. But I don't put too many things that's really difficult to do on that to-do list. If it's going to be only 3 things, they're going to be 3 things that are actually achievable. Do not put something, say, oh, I have to reach out to 100 people a day. Like, that is not reasonable. Me, I don't usually talk to more than 10 people per day. Like, if I'm doing a coaching session, I don't coach more than 5 people a day. I'm going to respect their time and mine, and I'm not going to drive myself crazy. But yeah, require discipline, consistency, and a routine. After my to-do list, then I eat breakfast, and then I start my day. There go my whole day duties finished by 7 a.m. I got the whole rest of the day to either do my coaching sessions or have me time. Me time is one of the most important things on my list. I have to get back to me, because if I'm not good, nobody else is. So definitely always include you in your schedule. I was just on a session, and I was working with a client about time management, and everything she listed, I had her write out her whole schedule for the whole week, what time she go to work, what time she come home, how many hours she's driving in traffic, commuting, what activities her kid have, what activities she do while at work, to see if you're just not being busy and not productive, because a lot of people do a lot of busy work and not productive work. And she's like, I watch TV, I do this, running the son to this, swimming lessons, tutoring, play dates. And I said, you name and taking your son to everything, but when do you spend time with him? You got him busy in all these activities. I said, do he really got to be in all those activities? And she's like, well, I'm like, usually when I talk about mindset when it comes to time management, usually you keep your kids in so many activities because you're overcompensating for an absentee parent. Because that's what I see mostly in my single moms. you got them busy because it's distracting them from realizing like, oh, daddy's not here. But then they realize mom is not either, because you're nowhere in that schedule either to spend time with them. They're doing all these other activities with other people, but when do they have time to do that with you? That's why I make Saturday night family night. Sunday is lazy day with my son. We make sure we spend that time together. No matter how busy I am during the week, he's definitely going to have me for at least 2 days. And I know he spends in the summer 4 days with his dad. If he have me 3 days, he's going to at least get me full for 2 days. It's very important that they spend time with you. You don't want your kids to be resentful of you when they grow up and they're like, I was doing all this stuff, I had an amazing childhood, but I never received my mom. I didn't spend time with my mom. Or they don't know who you are. And that's the reason why I developed my icebreaker cards for the kid and the parent edition, for kids to really know who mommy is, because a lot of kids just say, oh, that's my mom, but they don't know nothing about you outside of you just being their mom. So that's why I developed those icebreaker cards, for you to get to know your kid, because if you're working a lot, which is normally what single moms do, you work a lot, work 1-2 jobs to make ends meet, to be able to pay bills when you're not getting help, you don't get that time to see them develop. You don't see what they're doing when you're not around. Some kids need to know, Mom, what do you do when I'm not around? That's one of the questions in my icebreaker card deck, is what do you do when I'm not around? Kids don't even know. They don't know that we're busy, we're working, and the sacrifices that we're making for them. Some kids, like my son, I used to tell him, like, I had to sit him down, like, you're very ungrateful. Do you know as much, all the stuff that I have to do to make sure we have this lifestyle, to make sure you can do these things, you can travel out of the country 3 times a year? Like, do you know the sacrifice that I'm making for that? He didn't know. So I had to talk to them, have that serious conversation. This is what your mom do. Here go my bills. This is how much this costs. And he's like, wow, like you're paying all that? Yes, by myself. So sometimes they don't know why you're working so hard. They don't know what you dream of, because a lot of moms give up those dreams when they have a kid. They figure like, oh, I can't accomplish my dream because I'm a mom. No, you can still do whatever you wanted to do and dreamed of doing even while having a kid. You just have to learn how to marry those things, your needs and their needs, together. A lot of times it could just be something simple as you working a job that you shouldn't be working. And that's why it's keeping you away from your kid. That's why you're resentful. That's why you're bitter. That's why you're angry all the time. You have to find your purpose that's going to make you happy and still be able to live your life at the same time with that balance. So that's another thing that I do in my time management class. The first thing we do is the mindset shift. I want you to be able to do more with your time, but it requires less of you. A lot of times even with the delegation part, delegating duties, you don't have to clean your house every day. There's a lot of maid services that will charge you, like there's some here, they only charge you $50 to clean like 1 or 2 rooms. My room always stay clean, but my son, on the other hand, he come and just like a tornado hit his room in just like a minute. So I can pay someone to clean the living room in his room and only pay $50 a week. If $50 a week is going to give me time back to myself, and I have a nice clean house, and I get to spend more time with my son, it's worth it. Meal prepping. My mom taught me this, like, we used to cook all our meals on Sunday for the whole week. It also saves you money because you already know what you're going to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's already labeled and prepped and put in the refrigerator. And it's easy for your kids. Your kids can go warm up whatever for that day, or they can mix up their meals. We always had like Pizza Friday is the only day I go order pizza, because that's our movie night and me and him bond. So I've been doing that for about 5 years. We do Pizza Friday. Sundays we usually do a buffet, because Vegas always have a lot of buffets. So we do the brunch with my mom. It's our lazy day. I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning, I'm not doing anything on Sunday but being completely lazy. We would sit in our pajamas, we take a shower, put on more pajamas, and just relax and cuddle all day. Or we leave each other alone. He's on his side of the house, I'm on mine. Like we used to do like Taco Tuesday, so we knew Tuesdays we were gonna have tacos. We knew we were going to have turkey burgers on Wednesday. We're going to have some type of pasta on Thursday. Okay, we're going to have salmon on this day. We planned out what meals we're going to eat each day, set the menu, go to the grocery store, make all the meals on Sunday so that we could save money and have everything prepped, all our fruits and all that stuff. Everything is ready. That saves you hours of cooking throughout the week. There's some more free time. Another thing, well, when you give your kids chores, that's some less things for you to do, like the laundry. Teach them how to do it. They need to be self-sufficient and independent. Otherwise, you would have kids in your house at 20 years old or 30 years old, and they still ain't left because they don't know how to do nothing for themselves. They don't know how to pay a bill. They don't know how to do any of those things. It's important to teach them. I see so many kids going off to college and they can't make a simple meal, so they're eating noodles every day, hot dogs. They can't make a cheap meal to live in their dorm room. That's why they gained the 15 pounds, because they're eating snacks every day. They're freshmen 15. They don't even know how to do their laundry. Some of them, if they live local, they come home for their mom to do their laundry. Like, it blew my mind when my brother was like a teenager, and I fixed them breakfast, him and my son, and he asked me to cut his pancakes. He's like, Mom always did it. I'm looking at him like, are you kidding me? Did you really just ask me to cut your pancakes? When my son, at the time, he was like 6 and he's cutting his own. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. And now he's 21, he's going to be 22 next week, and he has a kid. And I'm like, you guys are hopeless. Like, you and the mom don't know how to be adults yet, and y'all have a kid. Like, we have to change this. You got to be able to live on your own. You got to be able to know how to pay bills, wash your own clothes, cook. Simple things like, some people, even I know adults, don't even know how to grocery shop. But you can save there. That's another thing I help parents do. You don't have to grocery shop on your own. They have Postmate, Uber Eats. They have all these different, Grubhub. What else? They have all these different places where they can grocery shop for you. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. I will have Walmart delivery and do my grocery shopping. If you stick with a list, because I'm not a disciplined person when it goes to come to the store, I will go with, in my mind, with the list. And as soon as I get there, the list is gone. I don't even remember what I came there for, and I wind up having a whole basket full of stuff that I didn't even come there for, and leave without the stuff that I actually came there for. So to discipline myself, I ordered on the app. And with the way Walmart works, you can drive and sit in the pickup area and they load your cart for you. So you only get what you had on your list, and you don't even got to walk in the store. So you don't even got to be mad at yourself for going in there and spending $100 or something when you only was supposed to spend $5 or $10. So there's ways to free up your time, and it don't take much to drive to the store or just have them deliver it to you. I'm a Postmate driver. I get free delivery, so I will have them deliver dinner. Like, my son is an expert at it. He like, Mom, let me see your phone so I can order us Postmate. He ordered BJ's, the Yard House, Chili's, like whatever food. If I don't feel like cooking and I didn't prep, he would definitely get on the app and order something. And I'll be like, this is your budget, so go ahead and order your food, and that's it. There's other options. You don't have to do everything yourself. So definitely look up those options. You just have to have your mindset right to think of, you don't have to do everything. You can release the control. Everything's not going to be perfect or the way you want it, but you got to be okay with that, because you need time to yourself. Simple things like just soaking in a tub. Like, I've been posting, I know you guys been seeing me, like the self-care posts. Mondays are my self-care days, so that's why I posted a lot of self-care stuff. Just soak in the tub. Like, let your kids know, do not bother me. My son, no, do not come bother me when I'm having my 30-minute detox bath. I get my Epsom salt, my salt bombs, my lavender oils, and I turn the lights off in the bathroom. I might set my tripod up with my phone or my iPad or my MacBook on a table or a tray in there and watch a movie. I light candles all around the tub and really set the mood and focus on my energy and either meditate and just relax. You know, don't come knocking on the door. Because he used to try to pick the locks, everything. I could not get a bath and without him bothering me. I'd be like, kid, you don't understand how much I need this time to myself to just unwind at night. So now he has a set bedtime. So usually I do my bath after he went to sleep to guarantee that I won't get any interruption. So he got to go to sleep by 9 o'clock. So I know after 9, it's just me time. But you need that peace. You need that to be able to function. There's only so long you can go with abandoning yourself, because your body will tell you it's enough. Enough is enough, and it's time for you to sit down and chill. That happened to me last year. I approached burnout. I was down for the count for maybe 4 days. Couldn't walk. My body was shutting down. I was so sick because I was so overwhelmed and burned out. That's when I was like, something have to give. Then you have to be okay with asking for help. That's the biggest thing I see from parents. Only because when I ask parents, like, why are you scared to ask for help? A lot of times the people you're asking for help will throw it in your face later. So people fear someone be like, well, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't this. You got to know who the right people to put on your support team. You have to build your village. Y'all always hear me talk about my village, because my village is everything. If it wasn't for them, my mom, my sisters, my aunts, if I need a break and they see I'm like overwhelmed, I'd be like, can you just take him for the weekend? Like my mom would pick him up for the weekend just so that I can get a break. And she's like, go handle what you got to do. I got him. Don't worry. But you got to ask the right people, because some people are not, they don't have good intentions. They waiting for you to ask them for something so they can throw it in your face or tell the world. So definitely know who to ask, who to have on your team. So I make parents write out a list. Who are like 2 or 3 close people you can heavily rely on if anything go wrong. If something happened to you, who can take care of your kids? If you don't have a person, that's a problem. That's a real problem, because what about the godparents? People that say they're your friends or your close friends, best friends. Like if something happened to you, you were really sick and you can't even take care of your kid, who can help you? Think of that person that you can call on, and let that person be a part of your village, and let them know when times are hard, don't be afraid to come to that person, but ask them permission. Say, if anything happened to me, I'm sick or I'm overwhelmed and I need your help, would you be there for me? Would you be able to watch my kid for an hour or 2? Make sure you have at least 2 or 3 people that you can rely on like that, that's near, that's very genuine, that won't throw it in your face, because you will need those people eventually. And you're right, exactly. Yeah. Because I get a lot of people like, I don't know who to ask. And every time I ask somebody for help, they throw it in my face later, because you're asking the wrong people. They're not there for your good. They're not looking at you for the good of you. Because anybody that will see you getting ready to crash and burn will jump in without you even asking. Because they're close to you. They know what's going on. They're genuine. And then a lot of people I see with a spouse and can't even get help. You have to communicate your needs to that spouse and let them know, I didn't make these kids by myself. You're going to have to put in, I don't care if you're a provider, you still got to be a dad. You can be both, just like I'm both. Period. Because I hear men be like, well, I'm working, paying all the bills. Okay, taking care of a kid is probably more strenuous than your job. Seriously. Mentally, physically, emotionally, all of the above. And a lot of men don't realize that until they have to take care of the kid without you. If you were sick and they had to take care of the kid, they're like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? Yeah, be like, that's what we've been trying to tell you. So don't let them use as an excuse if they're a provider, because your time is money as well. And that could be just your mental money, you spending money back into yourself and time to yourself. Hey, but yeah, it's very important to take care of you, self-care, and don't feel bad about it, because a lot of parents always have that parent guilt. I used to be that one where I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel sorry for telling my kid not to bother me. He's not going to feel neglected for me being given back to myself for 30 minutes. He understands, because sometimes he don't want to be bothered. So how I do set it up, because he's 10 and he's older, I'll run him a bath with his little color bath bombs, set his iPad up on his toilet, light some candles for him at the same time that I'm taking a bath. So we could take a bath at the same time, and then we get 30 minutes to ourselves, and he love it. So I make it like a game. Like, hey, let's go. He has his own bathroom. On his side of the house, I have my own bathroom. So I'm like, okay, let's go take a bath. You take one at the same time as me, and then we can go to bed after or whatever. Or we have movie night after. So he's like, okay, Mom, I'm excited. Like, he's excited. If you let them pick their own bath stuff, like he has bath toys. I bought him a little speaker to go in the bathroom, the waterproof speaker, so that he could hear his tablet, the little Bluetooth speaker out loud. So he loved that. He turned his bathroom into his own miniature theater, and just make it fun for them to have their me time, because it's okay for them to have it too. Sometimes they need to be alone with their self and their thoughts. I let them journal. Whatever he feel like, if he's having a bad day, I have him journal about it and let him sit in his room and journal. And then we come together and we have that discussion. Like, how do you feel? Why did you write this? What happened? Sometimes you gotta let them process their day as well. Because sometimes everybody get overwhelmed. Not every day is going to be a great day, but you can't take it out on them, because that's usually what will happen when you're overwhelmed and you're experiencing that burnout. You're frustrated because you're like, I don't have no time to myself. Sometimes you forget to eat, so you're hangry at the same time. You're hangry, you're frustrated, you're like, I'm doing this by myself. Then you start resenting the other parent. Even if they're in the same household as you, the other parent's like, well, you're just a stay-at-home mom. No, you're more than just a mom. So I love to remind people of that. And this is what I do in my course. It's me giving that TLC that you need, that tender loving care, making you understand, I hear you, I can relate, I'm there for you. Now I'm going to show you how to get your life back in order, because I know when you're in a situation, it kind of seems impossible, but that's what I do for my clients. Angry. Yes. So like, I help them with effective time management strategies. There's 4 different steps. So basically it spells out the word time. So we're going through a transformation of your mindset first. Then we're dealing with, improving your situation. So we're going to figure out what it is and how did you get in that situation, and how could we get over those obstacles or those limiting beliefs, things like that. And then we teach you how to manage the time, writing down your schedule, see who you could delegate, build your village. Then we're going to establish a routine. So that's the last step. So we do this, it's a self-paced thing, but I do have accountability where I check in with you to make sure you're doing what you have to do. And if you have any questions, so you personally get to work with me one-on-one through this course. Each week is pretty much 4 weeks. But you have to be consistent. You have to be open-minded, of course. But I help eliminate you feeling overwhelmed with life, eliminate that stress, that parent guilt, help you balance and keep your weeks organized and get on track. Feel like everything is out of order, I help you get it back in order. It is possible. Help you catch up on stuff, because a lot of people, you feel behind forever when you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta catch up on this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You always will feel behind, like you never done enough or had enough time in a day to get stuff done. So that's what I help you do, and get back time to yourself, because self-care is very important. And I give you those time-saving skills, make you work smarter, not harder. Basically simplify your life. So you will get accountability, you will get one-on-one access to me, you'll be in my private group and community. So if you need help, you want to talk to someone, all that is available to you. And you get the workbook, but you will learn and master time management within 30 days. It don't take a long time, but 3 weeks to break that bad habit and to get that routine under control. So that's why I allow it 4 weeks. So it's 30 days or less that you will have your time management mastered. So those who are interested in that program, that course, I am taking getting people on the list and doing the pre-sale right now for that program. That's going to be at the end of the month. So if I get at least 5 people, it's going to be a live program, and you're going to get me live for 4 weeks with a private Facebook group, private one-on-one conversations each week. You're going to get strategies in a workbook to be able to master. It's called Mastering Your Time Management and Work-Life Balance in 4 easy steps. It's very easy steps, but when you see the way I set up the steps, you'll be like, okay, this makes sense. It's simplified to where there's a no-brainer that you have everything mastered less than 30 days. But you can either schedule a free 30-minute breakthrough call. I have the link in my description. I believe I put it in there. Or you can just message me if you're interested. The course is $9.97, but if you pay in full, you will get it for $6.97. There are payment plans. It only requires $197 deposit to get started. I don't have the time set yet, but I know it's going to be the last week of July. We want you to get your time management mastered before these kids go back to school, so that you can fit that in your schedule and not throw you off once they go back to school in about a month or 2, depending on where you're at. School here start back next month, so that's why I'm doing it now, because this needs to happen before these kids go back to school, so that you would have peace of mind and some freedom to enjoy your time and life. Just live. Nobody wants to live a stressful life unbalanced. So definitely message me, or you can definitely book a sales call by clicking my link. It'll be a 30-minute breakthrough call. But make sure you are ready to move forward. The call is pretty much just so that you can get more information about the program, and let's see where you are right now, and if you're a good fit for the program. Otherwise, I do have one-on-one coaching available, and I am taking in new clients now. I wasn't in the month of June, but now that it's July, I am opening my schedule for 10 more new clients. So I don't want more than 20 people in this course at one time. I don't like to work with a whole big large group of people, because I'm literally helping you, each individual, build their new plan, their new schedule, their new routine. So I don't like to overextend myself. So I keep it between 10 and 20 people. So 20 is probably the max. I had about 57 people say that time management, work-life balance is their issue. So if you're serious about getting in the course, it is limited space, and then I will run it again probably next month. But you can still make payment plans, and I will work with you. So definitely reach out to me, message me, share this video and like it. I forgot to say that. Some people might need these questions that people are asked. And if you have any topics or questions you want me to talk about, definitely message and send it to me, because I will address whatever issue. You can send me scenarios, questions, or a topic. I got a few today about the business topics. That's going to be the next Q&A. It's going to be about business. So if you are a mompreneur or entrepreneur, business owner, definitely send me those questions you need help with in regards to your business, as far as marketing, content creation, ideal client, building packages and services, tools, all those good things. But thank you guys for tuning in. I said I wasn't going to make this an hour, and it's almost an hour. But I can't see the time. Facebook don't have it on there anymore. But now that I look at the clock, it's 5 minutes short of an hour. So, but if you guys don't have any questions for me, then I'm going to let you guys go, and I am going to get some rest. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. And thanks for being so supportive. You guys are so amazing. I love it. You guys keep me going every day. But don't forget to like and share the video. Have a good night. Bye.